Macron urges Europe to start acting like world power. French President Emmanuel Macron has urged Europe to assert itself on the world stage, saying it is time to start acting like a power. In the face of growing threats from China, Russia, and now the US, he told a group of European newspapers that the continent faced a wake-up call. Are we ready to become a power? This is the question in the field of economy and finance, in defense and security, and in our democratic systems. In another era we might have said it is the moment to assume our majority, he said ahead of an EU summit in Brussels later this week. Macron repeated his call for EU-wide mutualized loans in order to raise hundreds of billions of euros needed for industrial investment. The time has come to launch a shared debt capacity to fund our future expense Eurobonds for the future. We need big European programs to finance the best projects, he said. Similar calls in the past have met skepticism from Germany and other countries, who feel France wants to use Europe to bear a financial burden which it alone, because of its failure to reform, is unable to take up. Macron admitted that France has never had a balanced model, unlike certain economies of the North, which are built more on a sense of responsibility. And we have never had reforms like the ones initiated in the 2010s in Portugal, Spain, Italy and Greece, which are paying dividends today. But he said there was growing demand in the world's financial markets for mutualized European debt, which currently the EU was not equipped to supply. The world markets are increasingly afraid of the American greenback dollar. They want alternatives for investors everywhere. A democratic state of law is a huge attraction. And when I look at the world as it is, we have the authoritarian regime that is China, and on the other side we have the US distancing itself further and further from a state of law. According to Macron, the 27-member EU needs 1 trillion ton 1.4 trillion tons a year to invest in the vital sectors of security and defense, clean energy, and artificial intelligence. Calling on the EU to protect these and other industries, he said the Chinese do it, the Americans too. Europe today is the most open market in the world. In the face of that, I am not saying we should be protectionist. It's more a question of being coherent, in other words, not imposing on our own producers rules which we do not impose on non-Europeans. Climate change is accelerating. The US, which we thought would guarantee our security forever, is no longer sure. Russia was to give us cheap energy forever, but that stopped 3 years ago. China has become a rival that gets fiercer and fiercer. Today, we Europeans are on our own. But we have each other. We are 450 million people. It's huge. For me, becoming a power is the fulfillment of the European adventure. We came together to stop war, we came together to build a market. But we always forbade ourselves to think of power. Asked about the latest standoff with Washington over Greenland, at the end of which US President Donald Trump appeared to back down from threats to annex the Danish territory, Macron said the Europeans should not be fooled. At the end of a crisis, there is a cowardly tendency to sit back and say phew. There are threats and intimidation, and then suddenly Washington gives way. And people think it's over. Police have recovered DNA from a weapon but cannot determine which of the brothers used it. The socialist grandee quits his role at a prestigious institute as he is investigated for the laundering of tax fraud proceeds. Intelligence experts believe southwest France's proximity to defense and aerospace sites makes it a target for espionage. Tom Flicks, 34, was arrested in 2023 as he was preparing to open a restaurant in the country. The 86-year-old says he knew nothing about Jeffrey Epstein's criminal record when they met some 15 years ago. Copyright 2026 BBC. The BBC is not responsible for the content of E!